Hi, it's Reagan of More Designs here with Papercraft Star to share my project with you. The challenge this week is Challenge 62 and it is anything goes. So anything at all, anything that you create can be submitted for the challenge this week at Papercraft Star. I'll post the link to the Papercraft Star blog below. Papercraft Star now has a permanent sponsor, and it is the House Across the Bay Etsy store, and she does Digi sheets. So part of being on the design team at Papercraft Star is creating a project using Digi sheets from the House Across the Bay. So this week I did a mini album, obviously, and I chose to use several different Digi sheets from the House Across the Bay. One of the ones is the Alice tags, which is number 175 on her Etsy store. I'll post her Etsy store link down below if you're watching this on YouTube as well. And when I saw the Alice tags, I immediately thought of Graphic 45's Halloween in Wonderland collection, which I bought last year and have not used a single bit of it. I am honestly a little intimidated by Graphic 45, but I dug in there and I cut it up, and it was super easy and quick, this mini album, and I had a lot of fun making it. So if you haven't cut up some Graphic 45, I encourage you to do so. So let's get started. The album is made with a $1 chipboard album by Mary Englebright that I got at Michael's for $1. And I just, all four sides, this side right here was like this, and I just cut it straight across to give it a flat edge. I used 2 binder rings to bind my mini album, and then I glimmer misted and crinkled some black seam binding that I received from Tashia. So hi Tasha, thank you very much. And some black tulle, and I just tied a bow and hung it off of the binder ring. So I'm going to move that out of the way so you can see. I used antique copper large eyelets from Stampin' Up, and I did some fussy cutting. This is an image from the paper. This is also an image from the paper. So the title is Halloween in Wonderland, It's Only a Dream, and that's from the paper as well. I don't know if you can see that. It says It's Only a Dream. I backed this on white printer cardstock to make it stand out a little bit. She has crackle accents on her handle of her broom and on the leaf right here. And then this is a Stampin' Up stencil that I sponged with Pumpkin Pie and More Mustard Craft ink by Stampin' Up, and then used my white gel pen to add accents. She has glossy accents on the ribbon of her hat. And then she is popped up, so if you can see that. And then I used the Tattered Florals die cuts to cut some flowers using some of the Digis from House Across the Bay. So these flowers right here are cut using the Halloween backgrounds, which is 173, and that's my cover. So I have pictures on my blog and a complete supply list. So if you head over to amoredesigns.blogspot.com, you can check all that out, and there will be links for everything there as well. On this page, I used from some of the Wonderland classifieds, and I just cut along the queen and then cut out the thing, and I made it a pocket. And I actually cut this middle section from a different card and then glued it onto one of the cards that said Halloween in Wonderland, because I had cut into this when I was cutting other shapes out. So that's what I did for that, and it just is blank on the background for a photo. And there's that. And then right here is another one of the cards. It has the queen on it, and I just backed it with the purple paper for lines for journaling. And everything is inked with basic black ink by Stampin' Up. And I also, before I glued the paper on, I painted the chipboard with the fountain pen black fountain pen paint dauber by Jenny Bolin, so that all the edges are black, and then I inked all the papers with basic black. This is one of the 2-inch, let's see, what is it called? The 2-inch Alice Digi sheet from the House Across the Bay. So I just cut that out, backed it on some of the designer paper, and popped it up. And then this is just a brad that I cut the back off of and popped it up. This is an inset Baroque frame, and Jann at What You Make It 1 on YouTube has a tutorial on how to do this, and I wanted to try it. So thank you so much, Jann. I had fun doing this, and my plan originally was to do every other page, one of these pages, but I did 2 of them and then forgot when I did the last 2 pages. So anyways, I cut these guys right here out from the paper and popped them up on pop dots. However, I did not glue them down on where the inset isn't, or where the inset is. So I can tuck the picture behind there. So this is one of the Alycia tags from the house across the bay. And I just tied some black seam binding on there and added some paper to the back, and there was my little tag. I cut this little Curiouser and Curiouser, I sound funny saying that, sorry, banner out from the paper as well. Well, it's not really a banner. I just cut the words out and made it into a banner and popped that up as well. But like I said, it's not glued. It has pop dots, but it's not glued down. That way I can tuck this tag in there. And this tag doesn't have to stay here either. You could put the picture here, glue this down, and then tuck this somewhere else. But that's where I have it right now. On the next page, I did the tea party paper, and I used the rabbit and the Mad Hatter. Does the rabbit have a name? I don't remember. Anyways, this right here, this Keep Your Appointments, is from the Vintage Phrases Digi sheet from the house across the bay, and its number is 125. And so I just cut that out and inked it with black and put that popped up on the middle and popped out. So it's Keep Your Appointments. I added some Recollections rosettes in purple, and I inked those with black. And then this is a teapot charm that I received from Alycia. So thank you so much, Alycia. And I glued that on with E6000. So for a little embellishment. And then this is glued down and this is popped so that it made a pocket. And I used my ornament ball Sizzix die to create a pocket watch. This circle right here is the Fabric Circles Digi sheet from House Across the Bay, number 147, and I stamped my clock from my Sense of Time Stampin' Up stamp set on there, and then added glossy accents and a little purple flower. And I need to add pattern paper to the back of this. This is the only tag that's not finished. I need to add the pattern paper to the back. So there's that. And then this is also a Digi sheet from the House Across the Bay. It says birthdays and anniversaries, and I added this little thing from the paper, which I got this idea from Jules. So I just cut this little part out from the bottom of the paper, the names of the paper, and it says Alice's Tea Party. This is the blank backgrounds number 045 from the house across the bay. And so that can be a journaling spot, and then I use paper for the photo mat on the back. And then another tag from the Alice Tags stamps or Digi sheet, and it says "You're late," and it has crackle accents over it, seam binding, and covered in paper on the back. So there's that page. And then on this page, I cut the Mad Hatter out, and I had the 12 by 12 paper stack, by the way. So everything was kind of too big. I mean, not really. It obviously fit, but it hangs over. So this is from the 12 by 12, and I cut the Mad Hatter out, and I put glossy accents on his candy corn, and I cut the Mad Hatter title out and put crackle accents over that. And then this is one of the inset frames from Jann's tutorial as well, and I just popped him up again but did not make it sticky. I just left the paper on there so that I could tuck my tags behind there. And I made another clock, stamped it on I think I stamped it on the white cardstock, same stamp, then cut out an ornament ball and cut the top of it off so I'd have the big circle around it. And then it has the designer paper on the back, and then another tag from the Alice tags, which again is number 175 from the house across the bay. Added some seam binding. I inked everything in black and pattern paper on the back. I really like the way this turned out. It was a lot of fun to use the images from the paper as embellishments, and it also, you know, took me less time because everything was right in front of me as far as the paper packs. And all of the House Across the Bay Digi sheets that I used on this album fit perfectly. So I cut this tree and the cat from the paper as well, and then I just took some, because this green didn't show on the part I wanted to glue down, I just cut some of the green out and popped it up on, I don't know if you can see that, I popped it up on dimensional so it looked like leaves. The trunk is crackle accented and the cat's eyes are glossy accented because he always has those glowing eyes. And then Fraidy Cat is one of the vintage phrases Digi Sheet 145. So there's room for a photo. And then on this page, this is one of my favorites. It's designer paper. This is designer paper from the collection. I just tore all along the edge and kind of made a square, but you know, it's torn, so it's not perfect. I inked it with the pumpkin pie and more mustard. And then this, When Kitty Plays, is a little vintage phrase from that Digi Sheet that I popped up in the middle. And these flowers are punched out of the 2-inch Alice squares, so these are actually pictures of the Alice and the Queen and all that. And I just punched it out, made a flower, put a brad, and then this orange is from the Halloween Backgrounds 173 sheet. This photo mat right here is from it's an ATC size, by the way, these are. Is from the Halloween Backgrounds as well. And then I had cut from where I was cutting these Baroque shapes. I had a Baroque shape left, so I used the ends of it to make a tab, and I put one of the names of the paper, so it says Uncommon Nonsense, and it's crackle accented. And then I cut out this little version of the cat, and his eyes are glowing, and the tree trunk and limb is crackle accented. So he's down there, and that's that page. Whoa, this is another one of my favorites. I went online and got this wine bottle template, and it is from houseofstirfry.com. And I just cut it on the fold to make a tag, and then I glued it together so that it wouldn't fold open, just to make it a little sturdier. And that's how I made my tag. So this is from the collection. This is from the collection. Her ribbon is glossy accented. Ladies Only is part of the Vintage Phrases Digi Sheet. This purple flower is cut out of the Halloween Backgrounds. And it has a black flower Recollections brad in the middle. And then this is popped up so that it can make a pocket. And behind there I have a manila folder. So this is manila folder, so you can journal or picture on the back, and then the pattern paper on the front for a photo mat. And then this is my wine bottle, but it's supposed to be the bottle from the story. And it says Drink Me, and I just wrote that on one of the grungy prim tags from craftoutlet.com, and I wrapped the string around the bottle so it looked like it was hanging. Well, it is hanging, so it looked like it was, you know, part of the packaging. And then I took the other end of the Baroque die and made a label for my bottle, and then this says particularly adapted for young ladies, and it's crackle accented, and that is from the Vintage Phrases Digi Sheet from the house across the bay. So there's that, and then on the back you can put a small photo, or you can put a piece of paper and journal. So there's that tag. And then for my final page, I cut this Alice out from one of the papers, and she was pulling back the curtain. So I don't know if you can tell, but her arm is glued all the way down, and then she is popped up. And I did that because I wanted it to look like she was reaching and her arm was farther away. So she's popped up and her arm is glued straight down. She has glossy accents on the ribbon on her hat. And this is the Halloween Backgrounds Digi Sheet from the house across the bay. And I just made it look like she was pulling this back. So I made this a pocket. It's glued down right here, and behind it is a photo mat, which this is from the Halloween Backgrounds Digi Sheet, and then on the back is a postcard from the Blank Backgrounds Digi Sheet. So I thought it'd be fun to put a postcard from Wonderland in there, and that just tucks behind there. So it looks like she's pulling back this to, you know, go behind it. And then this Good Sense is a vintage phrase from that Digi Sheet. Recollections rosette with the wire. Then it says Through the Looking Glass. That's the name of one of the papers. And then I added a Tim Holtz keyhole that I put the cat's eye, and I don't know if you can see, but that's his mouth and that's the cat's eye. And I crackle accented that behind there. So the cat is like peeking through the keyhole. And all of this back here is actually not part of the Halloween in Wonderland collection from Graphic 45. This is actually all of the 2-inch Alice Digi sheet that I did into strips and made my own pattern paper out of. So it really looks like it's part of the collection. It's got all of the little same characters, and it just worked really well, and it was a fun way to do a different pattern paper. So I don't know if you can see, but all of that is the 2-inch Alice Digi sheet from the House Across the Bay. And then the back, I haven't done anything to yet. It's just stripes. I'll probably add some kind of label with my name and the date on it. And that is my Halloween in Wonderland mini album. Please leave a comment. I really enjoy your comments, and I want to know what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to post those in the comments below as well, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. If you go to my blog, which I will have a link to below, it has a list of supplies, and in the list of supplies it says THATB, which is the House Across the Bay. And under that, so supplies, House Across the Bay, it lists out every Digi sheet I used on this mini album and has the link to the page where you can buy that Digi sheet. She's really reasonably priced, and they're really fun to use. You can use them for flowers, you can use them for journal spots, ATC cards. The possibilities are endless, so please go check her out. So this is my mini album. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a comment. See you later. Bye.